Who or what the fuck exactly, pray tell, is Catherine, I hear you ask? And I don't exactly appreciate the swearing, but it's an easier question to ask than answer, because Catherine is this girl, and this girl, and also a video game that came out on the Xbox 360 and PS3 back in the good old days of 2011. It was made by Atlus, who you probably know for their Shin Megami Tensei and Persona titles. If you're a nerd, it's also an odd mix of puzzle game and dating sim, which are genres that sound like they go together about as well as cake and dance. The Cathys, hereby referred to as Cathy with a C and Cathy with a K, form a love triangle where main character Vincent Brooks is torn between his longtime girlfriend K and the girl with whom he cheats on her, C.
So, who are you betting on? Come on, pick one.
And it's fortunate they have the same name, because Vincent happens to be the worst liar of all time.
What the hell, Vincent? What is this?
Will you keep it down?
Huh?
One of my bosses is here.
Huh? Really?
Not the best time for you to be.
Maybe I should at least say hello.
He gets real grumpy if you wake him up. He's sleeping in the back.
Well, if you really think it would... Huh? He's awake?
Hurry up! Outside!
Hey!
Go. Sorry. Really sorry. I just wanted to protect you from the smell.
And if he had to remember two names, he'd definitely be screwed. Catherine is one of those experiences that doesn't conform to a simple classification or synopsis. Like most of the media I enjoy, it refuses to be crammed into an easily digestible little box. But I'm gonna try, so bear with me. At its core, it's mostly a puzzle game, one where you slide blocks around. Not in the Sokobon fashion, like your Lolos and Babas, but of a type that can't be compared to anything else. You slide blocks around to build stairs, to go up levels, to build more stairs. It's a lot like being employed. Maybe video games were a mistake. While that element is refreshingly original and addictive enough to keep your attention throughout its various modes, it's embedded in an engaging and equally original story, told in an original way. Original is the emphasis of this sentence. And it's true that Catherine is a puzzle game where you slide blocks around and die a lot. Somehow, it's also a game about problem drinker and general man-child Vincent Brooks, being pressured to put a ring on it by a significant other. What was her name again? Oh yes, Catherine. Vincent's general fear of commitment leads him into the, let's say, arms of another girl, one who is way hotter than he has any right being with. What was her name again? It'll come to me. This act also weighs heavily on his soul, and it's the catalyst of a type of curse, which causes him to have nightmares for the next week, as several men, many that Vincent knows, find themselves in a similar situation, all grappling with some internal demon or demons as they sleep. In this dream, men become sheep, trying to climb to the top of a cathedral, and one false step, and they'll die, in the dream, in the game, and ultimately in real life, in the game. It's a WTF of a storyline that keeps you interested in what will happen next. It's such a wild story that there's really no guessing as to what that will be. Catherine also sports a kind of alignment system, determining what you get out of your miserable life by making choices in the waking world and answering questions in the confessionals in your dream. This alignment system is what determines your ending, and the game is no slouch, boasting 8 of them. Meshing a storyline this crazy with something as boring as block puzzle game could only have been pulled off by Japanese RPG sensation Atlus, best known from their work on their Persona titles, with a very similar art style showing through here. And if Catherine's done anything, it's inspired me to play their other games, especially the Persona series. The main campaign of the game treks through 3 phases. First, a narrative phase. Here you'll savor several anime and 3D cutscenes, usually back to back. It's a little jarring that they cut between these styles, but then again, the 3D is that cel-shaded anime-looking style, so I guess it works. I'm sure there was a budget thing involved here. And of course, the game does have a story to tell, though it's paced like your typical anime where you just want to get to the next part, but Goku spends the whole fucking episode standing around charging his fucking spirit bomb. Though it's a joy to witness Vincent Brooks ruin his life in daily increments. If you're like me, you'll be desperate to know what's going to happen, or more like how he's gonna fuck it up next. The next phase is the bar. At the bar, you talk to your friends and bar patrons. My favorite are these creepy ladies who are obviously witches.
Do you know about ants?
Ants? Like the bug?
I hear they're messengers of witches. They come out of the mouths of the men who wasted away to death.
What? I thought that was just a rumor.
Mr. Todd has died.
You can play music on the jukebox, hear facts about various alcohol.
It is said that this very prohibition paved a way for the cocktail culture to bloom. Alcohol made in secret tended to taste terrible, so people began mixing. These are the roots of the modern cocktail. The more you stamp on a weed, the more it thrives. My, that's deep.
And send and receive text messages and lewds here, which will affect your alignment. You can also get drunk, which serves as a power-up in your dreams. In my life, it's always served as a power-up for annoying conversations at high decibels. And then, there's the Rapunzel arcade. If you're familiar enough with puzzle video games, a lot of them have 2 or more modes that can usually be categorized as arcade and puzzle. Where arcade is the fast-paced action where you're shooting for a goal or high score to beat the level, and puzzle is where you're challenged with little to no room for error, showing your true understanding of the mechanics and rewarded for strategic thinking. Rapunzel is the puzzle mode of the game, and it's fucking hard. It's the same basic mechanics as the rest of the game, but you're only given a fixed number of moves of the blocks, and the game is hard enough when they give you an unlimited amount of moves. I beat it, but there's this extra challenge of collecting all these fucking rosaries, which unlock a yet harder version of the Rapunzel game. It also has multiple endings. I didn't do it because, fuck that. Then there's the third phase, the actual gameplay, finally. The story/campaign puzzles. These happen in Vincent's dreams, and you'll always be a sheep in your boxers carrying a pillow around. Mostly it's just levels where you try to get up to the top. But each level tends to introduce a new challenge, whether it be NPCs that knock you down, or different block types, or bosses. The blocks have everything from black holes that suck you in to ice that'll slide you right off, to traps and mystery boxes, everything needing to be approached with caution. Then there are these bosses at the end of each set of levels. These bosses are usually horrific in some way or another. Or Freudian. Each night is split up into multiple levels, and between each level is a little hub where you can save and talk to other sheeple, and buy the occasional item. The items do all kinds of different things like kill enemies, allow you to lay down blocks, or jump higher. Here you can discuss techniques and help make the other characters feel better about themselves. You may even be able to save some of them from their own personal demise. The techniques you learn here will really come in handy on your first playthroughs. Eventually, you'll know them all by heart and have come up with some of your own that will outpace anything the game has left to teach you. You'll also find the confession booth here, where you answer an oftentimes intimate poll question, and that question is compared to other players' first-time responses where they're most likely to answer honestly, I suppose. Something so cool about this, you'll sometimes be surprised how your answers differ from the general public. The gameplay itself is deceptively rich and deep. It's got a Tetris-type feel where learning it is easy, but mastery is elusive. It'll take constantly planning your next move as well for contingencies. You don't just have to plan your path, but also your path if a key block is broken by a bomb or an NPC. Each level also scores and ranks you, and to get the best score you usually have to hit each new floor of the staircase without stopping for too long, limit your use of items, and make sure you grab most or all of the gold stashed around the level on your way up. These rankings are required to unlock all of the Babel levels, so if you're an obsessive completionist when it comes to games you really like, then have fun, asshole. Bonus thing I forgot to mention, all of this is occurring inside of the narration from The Golden Playhouse, which acknowledges the game is heavy on story, and The Golden Playhouse has a Twilight Zone horror anthology vibe to it. It's narrated by secret fertility goddess, red-haired Afro-cleavage woman. Also of note, the game has difficulties and it can be very challenging. It's also worth going for a play on hard mode. The game will probably warrant it as you become more skilled. Catherine is very cool. Look at what it's like just navigating around in a menu.
Enjoy our story by taking control of our torment. Start. Continue the story from where you left off. Take a perch on the edge of your seat and enjoy the strange tale of Catherine.
It's as if every element of the game was designed and choreographed. Everything is made to look cool or feel good. It just feels good to play. And the soundtrack is just bitching banger after classical banger. They really picked some of the cooler classical music to set the score of pushing around fucking blocks in a cathedral. These style elements are built around an excellent and addicting puzzle game that has every mode to suit your taste. And when I say addicting, I mean addicting. I guarantee you've never played anything quite like Catherine. Outside of the main gameplay are some more arcade modes you'll find in Babel, a mode where you're challenged with some much more difficult levels than the standard gameplay. And there's a co-op mode here too if you want to pretend you have friends. Babel is more of the arcade mode versus the story and puzzle modes already mentioned. And Babel, like everything else, is a giant pain in my ass. Beating the final Axis Mundi level is literally one of my top achievements in gaming. My Steam ranking from beating it also made me realize it wasn't a thing many people apparently had the patience to do, or no one plays this game, at least on the computer. There's also the Coliseum mode, which is the versus mode of the game. That's all I can really say about it. I mentioned the game has an alignment meter, and this, in tandem with how you answer some questions during the last challenge, will determine how your game ends. All the endings are a little deeper than which girl you end up with, though the alignment meter itself is literally pretty one-dimensional. Now, I said nothing here of Catherine Full Body, but it's probably worth talking about. They've re-released this game on the Switch, PS4, and PS Vita with quality of life improvements and a whole new girl in the love triangle, love square, who's just named Rin, which, okay, nice try, but that's not a Kathy, you can't fool me. It also introduces 5 more endings. I'm not qualified to talk about it because I haven't played it, and I'll get around to it, I think, maybe, probably not. I love Catherine because it's just one of those things that I go to tell people about and I just immediately see their eyes start glossing over. So many things I like are hard to explain to anyone why they're good. I told you, it's a game where you push blocks and cheat on your girlfriend! Leave me alone or I'll call the cops. It defies explanation outside of a quick video and a few pages of a script to narrate over it. The original version is on Steam, and the port is pretty good other than this terrible bug I found with OBS where I couldn't record an overlay without it crashing early on. But I got around that by recording the whole monitor, so I don't know. That's the worst I can say about it. So just go play it or whatever, please, right now, for me, immediately. I'm not going to ask you again.
Yo, you made the cancel the sheet. 1, 2, 3, get sucked in my sheets. これは現実、それかdream。混ざる蜜と濃厚なクリーム。